और ये 93
come in.
है.
Good morning. Good morning.
Come. Kiran.
Yes. Thank you.
चलिए. So when is your interview?
12th of February.
12th of February. Very good. So you are working in CPWD?
Yes. No, sir. KPWD. Karnataka Public Works.
Karnataka Public Works.
Yes.
Okay. What is the factor of safety which you employ while designing as, building?
So for buildings, we use a factor of safety of 2.5.
So is that not too high?
Yes, sir. It's based on limit state design what we employ.
No, that is as a part of the building code.
Yes, it's a part.
I know.
Yes.
But are we not kind of over provisioning? Because after all, the national resources.
Yes.
And that allows the room for somebody to indulge in malpractice also.
Yes, sir. That factor is there, but why we take 2.5 is for future prospective buildings, sir. So in case of increase in number of floors, so that time we use.
No, but then that is not a factor of safety. That means that you will have to make the provision in your foundation.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So that is a different
yes, sir.
thing.
Yes, sir. But rightly, as you said, there's scope for some malpractice.
Rationalizing it.
Yes, sir. So we could rationalize
and
it.
Actually, the same factor of safety, I don't think is used by the private sector. Are they using it?
I'm not quite sure, sir. But if they employ the limit state method, they will also have to use 2.5.
If they employ the
limit state method that is given in the IAS
building code.
Building code, yes, sir.
Yeah,
yes.
But I think many structural consultants, when they design, they design with some
yes.
of the latest softwares, and
yes,
then they
yes.
work out. Okay. Viksit Bharat.
Yes.
Tell me what is your, if I have to kind of, it is 2047.
Yes.
So it's a long way off.
Yes.
So what would be important milestones and how would you fix them? Because otherwise we will keep on thinking that we will be Viksit Bharat by 2047, and then 2047 we don't know what will happen.
Yes, sir. Sir, yes, it has to be, we have to have different milestones, have a short term, medium term and long term plan. So I think some of the areas we need to address is in the immediate term is the increase in pendency of court cases, sir. That is one
pendency
thing.
Of court cases.
Then also investment in infrastructure, capital expenditure also has to be looked at. Secondly, unemployment rates. So we need to create more employment, and merely focusing on enrollment in the institutions, that would not suffice, sir. We need to integrate with technologies like AI into the curriculum, and also the industry academia linkage has to be established, sir. So only then I think our dream of Viksit Bharat would come in true.
But in your answer, you have mixed up the
yes.
the procedure or process
yes.
and the actual changes. I mean,
okay.
And also you started with the immediate term,
yes.
and then left it
yes.
there.
Yes.
Anyway, you give it some more thought
okay, I'll
later.
give it more thoughts. Yes.
Okay. My last question to you.
Yes.
Please evaluate the leadership style of Mr. Donald Trump, the President of United States.
Sir, he has appended the word order. So if I have to describe, I will use the words erratic. It's not quite what you expect from a US president. It's not straightforward.
So you say
erratic.
Erratic.
Yes, sir. Then there's a tendency of, I would say, mercantilism, like using deals, what he calls as deals. Transactionalism. So
okay.
that would be second word, sir. Second, I think weaponizing of trade as a coercion is something he's using for a use of tariffs and reciprocal tariffs.
One more, I allow you.
then the colonial mindset of capturing annexation, which is used.
Okay.
Yes.
Now let me ask you one thing.
Yes.
That has he not succeeded in changing the world order, which many people thought needs some change, but nobody kind of ever attempted it. So is he not very bold in his approach?
Yes,
To
sir.
attempt it at least?
Yes, sir.
So courage is it not an important attribute of a good leader? To be courageous, to be entrepreneurial.
Definitely, sir. It has their
So
basic.
I didn't find it there in your
Yes,
list.
sir. But that has to not be a self-serving endeavor, sir. What he is carrying out is only in the interest of US itself, at the cost of other states.
No, but who asked you to no leader will be kind of doing it's a world leadership.
Yes.
His leadership is confined to, and that's why I said President of United
Yes,
States.
sir. Yes, sir.
So you have to see that also.
Yes, sir. In that sense, purely from US point of view, I think what all he's doing is only in the interest of US, and it is serving well for them.
I think that is going to another extreme. From
Yes.
yes.
But the way he's dealing with his allies, and he's asking them to shoulder the burden for their own security expenses at this point is something worrying for his allies also.
Even as a thought, I
Yes.
mean, if you really look at it, his idea that Greenland should be a part of US
Yes.
is not so outlandish.
Yes, but that would be against
Because
the,
he says that what did Denmark ever do there?
Yes, sir. But strictly speaking, from an international point of view, it would be against the sovereignty.
No, that's all
of,
right, but he has not taken yet.
Yes, sir. Yes.
He is only trying to pave the way for it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
He will eventually negotiate.
Yes, sir. He will. Yes, sir.
Okay, right. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. So, Kiran,
Yes, sir.
I found your DAF is very interesting.
Thank you, sir.
You are given foreign service as your second choice.
Yes, sir.
And you had done some study and presented a paper on seismic base isolation
Yes.
for building. What exactly is this?
So, seismic base isolation is a project we carried out in the final year. It was basically involves separating the substructure, the foundation, from the superstructure, the higher floors, during an event of earthquake. So, this is to reduce the impact of earthquake forces on the buildings.
So, your recommendation or whatever you had presented in that paper,
Yes, sir.
has been be accepted by any authority
Sir,
or competent authority?
Yes, sir. The current Supreme Court building is actually has used that methodology, and it is isolated its
So,
foundation.
this methodology was first time recommended by you?
No, sir. It's already in practice, sir, in Japan.
So, what exactly did you do when you said you made a presentation?
Yes, sir. What we did was we carried out different kinds of material that is used as isolators. So, we made a comparative study of it and applied it to Indian buildings.
So, as per my understanding,
Yes.
we put some kind of bearings actually.
Yes, sir, bearings, lead bearings.
So that in case of a seismic activity,
Yes,
it
sir.
will swing,
Yes,
but
sir.
it will not fall down.
Not fall down, yes, sir.
All right. So, what will the cost implication of this
So, that
in
is
terms
one-
of say percentage?
Yes, sir. In terms of percentage, it would be the average cost would increase by 30 to 40%.
30 to 40%.
Yes, sir.
If the cost of a building is going to go up by 30 to 40%, why will people adopt it?
Yes, sir. That is something we found out in our study. But what we can do in the long term is at least apply it in the higher seismic zones, sir, like zone 4, 5 and 6. Sir. Yes.
But can't you think of some kind of a engineering or technology which will make buildings seismic resistant while the cost is only 5% or 10%
Yes,
extra?
sir, other alternatives like cross bracing is one area, sir. So that can be employed for even medium.
So, if that can be done, then
Yes.
why should they adopt your recommendation?
Yes, this is actually for important public infrastructure, critical infrastructure like nuclear power plants, healthcare systems, etc. sir. So we cannot.
All right.
Yes.
I also observed that you had taken a course, online course on Indian Constitution,
Yes, sir.
and thereafter you you have got a lot of interest in studying constitutional history.
Yes.
Tell me the one landmark judgment of the Supreme Court of India which has impacted you or which has impressed you the most.
Sir, it has to be Keshwanand Bharti case of 1973, sir.
All right.
Yes, sir.
So, how does it impact people of this country?
Yes, sir. It brought in what is called as the basic structure doctrine. So, it essentially put certain elements of the constitution as the part of basic structure which cannot be violated under Article 368.
So, tell me any incident
Yes.
where the executive or the legislature was bent upon disturbing this basic structure, but because of this principle propounded by the Supreme Court in Keshwanand Bharti case,
Yes.
it was not ultimately executed.
So, I am assuming the SR Bomai case.
Pardon? I
Yes,
do
sir.
not know, I am asking you.
Sir, it has been in various.
Give me
case by-
any important judgment where.
He says SR Bombay.
Yes, SR Bomai case.
All right,
94.
what was that SR Bombay
So
case?
it basically dealt with the center-state relation, and it said federalism and secularism are part of the basic structure doctrine.
So, what was executive doing?
Uh,
They had proposed something else which was basically countering the basic structure.
yes, sir.
Given that detail.
The till then, till till the early 90s, sir.
Till early 90s.
Yes, sir. There was tendency of uprooting the state
When you say
government
early 90s means what?
because the case happened in the state.
No, 90s means 1901, 1902, 1903 on
90s,
2019.
1990s.
1990s, sir.
1990s.
Yes,
All right,
90, because
okay.
this case happened in 94. So basically the state governments, when the different government came, which was different to the central government, there was tendency to remove the chief minister unlawfully, sir. So that is when the case came, SR Bomai, and it said the majority of the government in the state government has to be proven on the floor of the house, sir, and not by the discretionary power of the governor. So that in that case it said the federalism is part of the basic structures.
All right, very good.
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Now tell me one more thing, that you have done something on arbitration.
Yes, construction law and
That is your master's
yes, sir.
in construction law and arbitration.
Yes.
Why do you think, or do you think that most of the arbitration cases are being decided against the government agencies? Why?
Sir, one is because of the kind of risk allocation that is between the employer and the government.
Employer? There is no
Contractor
employer.
and the employer. So here employer means the government. So government and the contractor usually. So the risk is mostly on the contractor side, sir.
So why do they enter into a contract? They can always refuse.
Yes, sir. This is because of the competitive bidding system that we have. So there is a tendency to put more risk
So
allocation.
once
on
they
the-
have taken that call, they
Yes.
have to face the music.
Yes, sir. I agree with that, sir. But somewhere even government fails to.
Can we say this is because of the duress and they are in a dominating position?
Asymmetry of
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, sir. Asymmetry of information. Yes, powers, information. Yes, sir.
All right.
Definitely.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Well, Kiran,
Yes.
with specific reference to Bengaluru, just I want your comment on my statement.
Yes.
And the statement is, our obsession for economic prosperity is leading us to environmental catastrophe. I repeat again, our obsession for economic prosperity is leading us to silent environmental catastrophe.
Yes.
Do you agree with it or not?
So I agree with it, sir.
Why silent? I'm saying we are heading towards silent environmental catastrophe. Why silent? Because we know about it, but we don't talk about
Yes, sir.
it. Okay?
Yes, yes, sir.
Do you agree with it?
Yes, I agree with it, sir.
Now, my second part of my question is a simple, practical 3-4 steps on how to decongest Bangalore. You know, congestion is a problem in Bangalore.
Yes, sir.
How do you decongest Bangalore? 3 short-term measures, 3 long-term measures.
Yes, sir. Short term, sir, we need to address the atrial roads, the interior roads first, sir. Those are the major choke points.
Tell, how do you address that?
Sir, illegal encroachments, shopkeepers placing the carts on the roads itself.
Is it such a serious problem?
Yes,
How
sir.
much of encroachment are going to, how much of area have they encroached?
Sir, especially in the atrial roads, I would say the interior roads, those are the major choke points, sir.
Interior roads are the major choke points, or the heart of the Bangalore is the major choke points?
Yes, these add to the overall traffic.
Okay, you say that remove any unauthorized
encroachment
yes. on the
atrial roads, interior roads.
okay,
yes.
so that there is more traffic on the interior on the
there
internal
can be
road.
more movement of the vehicles.
Okay, I'll
Yes.
give you that one.
Yes. Second, we should make our footpaths more walkable, sir. So pedestrian
How
friendly
do you
roads.
do that? You don't have space. You want to create more footpaths.
So we have to. We don't need more footpaths, sir. We have to address the existing footpaths, make them more pedestrian friendly.
How?
By creating cyclist infrastructure at least for 40-50%.
I have serious doubts.
Yes,
Anyway,
this is
go
already
ahead.
implemented in Hyderabad, so it's working well.
Okay, go
Yes,
ahead.
secondly, more feeder buses in the short term, sir. We already have metros, but the problem is the
Last
distance-
mile connectivity.
Yes, sir, last mile.
And
So in long term, I would say multimodal transportation, sir,
Mhm.
between metros, expansion of
Mhm.
metros.
Very
Currently, it
good.
is just 97 kilometers compared to Delhi, which is 390 kilometers. So expansion of metros, connecting with other modes of transportation. Innovative methods like carpooling can also help, and staggered timing for offices, sir.
staggered timing for offices and
Office.
schools.
Yes, sir, that would
And
help.
One more thing I just want to hear from you. Long term, 20 years from now, 30 years from now.
We could push in more public transportation, sir, backed by.
Think again. Okay, think about it.
Okay, I'll think about it.
Can you identify 3 civil engineering marvels in India? 3 civil engineering marvels. One is very close to Bangalore, Mysuru, Kempegowda. Vishvesvaraya
Yes, sir, KRS.
KRS.
Yes, sir.
That is an
KRS.
engineering
Yes,
marvel,
it's-
right?
yes,
What
sir.
else?
So I would consider the recent Chenab Bridge. as
Chenab
an
Bridge
engine.
is one.
Yes. And if I have to go back to the ancient history, then Kailashnath temples. That's an engineering marvel.
What is so great about
So
it?
it was etched in from bottom to up, sir, which was very unique to it.
Very nice. Economic Survey 2025-26. Have you
Yes.
gone through it?
So, just briefly, sir, not in detail.
Okay, so we'll not talk about it. Budget 26-27. What are the 3 core areas where the government should focus on?
So, one would be agriculture, sir, primarily.
Okay.
Second, we need to increase our private sector investment into the capital expenditure. That is declining, sir.
Okay. Thank you very much,
Yes,
sir.
thank you, sir.
Okay, Kiran, you are a civil engineer working with the state PWD.
Yes, sir.
Now, recently there was an unfortunate accident of a Noida techie
Yes.
who died,
Yes.
a very harrowing
Unfortunate.
death.
Yes.
Now, seeing at the diagram or the public information, do you see any part played by bad road engineering there?
Yes, I think there was lack of coordination between the different entities there, sir.
No, road engineering,
Yes.
the way the road
Yes,
was
sir.
built.
Yes,
It
sir.
was almost a 90-degree turn.
90-degree turn and the
How can this kind of roads allowed to be built? After all, there must be some kind of, even a common sense approach. Is it kind of corruption, or is it incompetence, or is it just indifference by the public, this works authorities?
Sir, the issue lies in faulty DPRs, sir, detailed project reports. So what happens is because of the compressed timelines in infrastructure
So
project,
ultimately, somebody in
Yes.
the public works department, you are working there,
Yes.
that's why I'm asking.
Yes,
What kind
definitely.
of due diligence is done? If let's say you are asked to supervise or clear the project for a road or a bridge,
yes,
We keep hearing about these bridges which go nowhere,
Yes, sir.
and suddenly turn from 4 lane to 2 lane,
Yes,
which
in
was
Mumbai.
there.
Yes, sir.
And they are traps.
Yes, sir.
Even in cities, lot of these flyovers are built like that the traffic merges, and the police is actually unable to do anything, control traffic, because the road itself is badly designed.
Yes, sir.
So how does it happen?
One is lack of site investigation, sir. In the primary, the engineers, while the preparation of DPR is happening, most of them are copy-paste DPRs because of the compressed timelines I already told. So what we need is more presence of engineers on the ground and better communications between different entities. I think at some point too many entities at one place cause communication gap that leads to such issues, sir. And next would be third-party investigation into it, sir, so that the accountability is put in. So currently what is happening, because of the presence of too many entities, the accountability is blurred. So unless that is not happening, we cannot address it.
You have also done this online course on
Indian
Constitution.
Yes.
Now, is our Constitution perfect? What would you like to be seen changed in our Constitution?
Sir, I would say, or as Ambedkar has said in the final speech, sir, like no constitution is perfect. It depends on the people that operate on it, sir. So ultimately, I would say it is not perfect, but.
But what's your opinion? What needs to be changed? Where some tweaking or substantial change is required?
So substantial change, I would not say, sir, because mostly it has worked well for more than 75 years, sir.
Do you think it has worked well?
Yes, sir. If we compare
any area where it has not worked well? Any weakness?
So one issue I would say is the governor's discretionary powers. If that was a better addressed,
Governor's
discretionary powers.
So is it time to get rid of the governors?
So no, sir, I don't think so. That would be an extreme step. But what we could do is at least
what useful function actually governors perform in any case? It's just ceremonial. Today, if we just remove governors
Yes,
from our states,
yes,
in what way the governance will be, or the larger scheme of things, what problem will arise? They don't perform any function. They are like elephant's tusks, decorative.
yes, but I would say when there's breakdown of law and order in the state, we need governors in that point of time to carry out the functions of the state. So in that sense, we need governor, and he also acts as a bridge between the center and the state. So in that sense, it would be helpful.
Okay, another question on the constitutional issues.
Yes,
I would like to play the devil's advocate here. We had an earlier discussion. You said
Yes, sir.
Supreme Court is this Keshwanand Bharati.
Yes, sir.
On a broader conceptual level,
Yes.
hasn't Supreme Court become the ultimate arbiter of what is constitution rather than people of India? Why not people of India? If Parliament decides something in its wisdom, why should Supreme Court be allowed to sit in judgment and say this is against the basic structure or not? They are putting limitation on the sovereignty of the people.
Sir, I would say they do not interfere while legislation because of the doctrine of presumed constitutionality. Only when the law has been duly passed is then the courts interfere.
Isn't now what constitution is what Supreme Court says it is?
Yes,
Right.
sir. But
let me give you an example. Now, parliamentary system is presumed to be now part of the basic structure. Yes. What if the people of India want a presidential system? If there is a referendum and people want to become a presidential system, that is also a system of democracy.
yes, sir. Yes.
So why should it be called a basic, and Supreme Court should sit on judgment over it? Why people of India should not be allowed to decide how to rule themselves?
Yes, sir. Sir, I would say that would lead to a lot of subjectivity and continuous changes in the system.
But if people want it, who is Supreme Court and the judges?
Yes, sir.
After all, that is also the judges appointing themselves is also now
Yes,
a
sir.
part of Supreme
That is-
Court powers.
Yes, sir. The collegium.
In
system.
what other part of the world Supreme Court judges
Yes.
decide who decide their successors?
Yes, sir.
There is always a parliamentary or oversight.
Yes,
So
sir.
isn't it a judicial overreach? That is my question.
So that has to be seen case by case basis, sir, I would say, because largely it has helped in protecting the fundamental rights and upholding the values of constitution. But time and again the courts have risen and protected it, sir. So there have been certain issues like, as you said, the collegium system, the judicial creation of collegium system. These are something that has to be relooked, sir. But apart from that,
Would you
largely-
like it to be changed, collegium system?
Yes, I think I would say reform, sir. Reform. I would say reform.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Kiran, when is your interview?
12th of February. Sir.
Well, so please wait for a minute. We'll have a brief consultation.
Okay.
Then
Thank you, sir.
You did very well.
Thank you, sir.